Hello. This is Liberty Mark 222. Just going to work here. Saturday afternoon. Looks like it's getting a little rainy, kind of cold. I was watching this Stanley Kubrick, I guess editorial or these guys are talking about Stanley Kubrick's film The Shining. Now, I've never watched The Shining, but I've heard of it. It's a real famous film, you know, where he's saying red rum, red rum. You read it backward, it's murder, and then it seems like the whole thing is he's going crazy. You know, Jack Nicholson, he's, you know, in this hotel and he's supposed to take care of it. And anyway, I've been studying this issue about the moon landing, and it comes to find out that the whole thing was staged. And the guy that filmed it was Stanley Kubrick. And I guess at the same time that he was filming Space Odyssey 2001, he was filming this thing about the lunar landing. So this is over in England, and I mean, you can see the sets and everything that Stanley Kubrick used for Space Odyssey 2001. Well, anyway, what they were saying in this movie is there's a whole bunch of things that were showing how he was trying to tell that he'd hidden this fact, that he'd done this, and he felt bad about it, and he was trying to tell the world that that he had done this, you know. But he got, you know, you get caught up in these upper levels of conspiracy, and if you say anything, you're going to get killed, you know. And so there was like this little boy. He was saying that Jack Nicholson's like one side of Stanley Kubrick, and the little boy is like the honest one that it's creative and inquisitive and stuff. That's the other side of Stanley Kubrick. And so I mean, it was off of Stephen King's novel, but he had changed a couple things. Like this previous owner of the hotel, or the manager, had killed his two daughters and his wife. He'd gotten crazy and killed them. And Jack Nicholson was like crying. He's like, oh, he had this dream that he killed his son and his daughter. I mean, son and his wife. And so anyway, it's set in this hotel where they had where Jack Nicholson made this deal with this guy, and he had like this really cheap toupee, and then they said it reminded him of Jimmy Carter. And oh, was it Jimmy Carter? No, not Jimmy Carter. I'm sorry. It was I'm sorry. It was John F. Kennedy. Yeah, that's it, right? I guess that's pretty important to remember these things. John F. Kennedy. And in the background of this guy that's given the job, he's saying, you know, you gotta maintain this hotel, you know, and it's like you gotta keep up these appearances even though it's not true. And he had this American flag there and this eagle there behind him, and he was saying that there are these allusions to the moon landing. And so he's like playing with this tennis ball inside the hotel, and there's this one room, I think it's like 327, 326, I can't remember exactly. And you're not supposed to go in this room. And so the little boy is playing on this carpet, and this carpet is like got this what is it? I think it's a hexagonal type of pattern with a long dividers between it, sort of. And they were saying it kind of looked like the launch pad of the space, the Apollo 11. Anyway, and he's also saying that the two girls before the space program before is called Gemini, which is the twins. And anyway, so the two girls, the little boy sees these two girls, and they're like, "Come play with us." And he's like seeing them, and then he sees this scene of this murder where they've been all chopped up and killed and stuff, and he's like, "No, no, no!" And so the little boy, when he's playing on the ground there's all these like toy trucks he's playing with. It looks like a moon launch kind of. And he gets up and he's got this shirt on. It says Apollo 11 on it. And he goes into this room 327. And in the book, originally it was Stephen King, I think it's room 317. And so he goes in this room 327, and they're saying that the moon is 327,000 miles away from the Earth. So he goes in this room, and nothing's real. It's all just kind of crazy stuff, you know. Nothing's, and they're saying that represents how the moon landing was fake. It wasn't real. It was all made up. And so this let me see what else is important. I guess this Jack Nicholson, he's typing this manuscript, and his wife's going in there. It's like, and he's like, don't come in here, or, you know, I've been I've been typing on this manuscript, you know, don't bother me when I'm typing and stuff. And so she sneaks in there and sees what he's been typing, and it says all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Just pages and pages and pages of this. It's all typed up differently, but it's the same sentence. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And they were saying another symbol for the Apollo space program was A11, Apollo 11. And so he was saying that's a symbol of, you know, the Apollo 11 space travel. And they said it was all, the setting is all cold outside, and there's all these bears in there. It's kind of representing the Soviet Union, the Cold War with the Soviet Union. And so the only one that had warned Jack Nicholson about this, he says, don't go in this room. And Jack Nicholson went in this room 327, and or is it 326? I can't remember now. He's this older black guy, and Jack Nicholson had gone in there, and he had this fantasy. He's with this young woman, and he's making out with her. She's all naked, and he looks, and she's became all old and stuff. And I think it was just I forget what he was saying. It's just kind of the idea that the things that he thought was going to be so good, it didn't turn out to be very good, and he's like repulsed by it. And so he goes into the hotel, and he finds out the real manager, the guy that behind the bar, and he gives him this drink, and he's trying to pay for it, and he says, your money's no good here. And so he sees all these guests and everything from like way back, and he meets the old manager. I guess, I don't know if the old manager died or not, but they're in the back, in the bathroom there, and they're talking, and he says, you're the real manager. And so to Jack Nicholson, and I think just showing him that he's got the responsibility of this whole Apollo Moon 11 story. So, you know, Jack Nicholson's in, his friend ends up coming there, and he kills him with this axe right when he comes in. It's like they were saying that I think the young Jack Nicholson had told somebody, and that person ended up dying. So anyway, I think it's a very interesting hypothesis, and I'd like to watch the movie and kind of evaluate and study some more, because if Stanley Kubrick was trying to tell people about this, even with this movie Eyes Wide Shut, and the Space Odyssey 2001, these, I mean, if we really did go to the moon, this is really this is a very important thing. American people ought to know this. The whole world ought to know this. And so I want to know for sure, and I want to find out the facts about these things. So anyway, thanks a bunch. This is Mark, Liberty Mark 222.